Hello, hello, and welcome to our talk show. I am Michaela Krupski, and I am here with Riley Gibbs. Say hi, Riley.
Hello.
So, today we are going to do a little bit of a debate, or really an agree to disagree type of scenario. We are trying to decide whether the movie or the book is better, and we're not talking about just one specific series or book series or movie series. We're talking about just in general. If you take a book or the movie of the same thing, which is better, pretty much. So Riley, what do you think is better out of the two?
So for me personally, I think that movies are better than reading the book because I like being able to see what's happening in front of me since I'm more of a visual type of person. Books kind of prevent you from sort of seeing what's happening and yeah.
But the thing with books, books give you a freedom of imagination. They give you the option to really imagine the story how you would want to see it. So if you're reading it and taking from the author's description, you can imagine the characters and the settings how you would think they would be, and you could just go from there. And it's really a freedom of imagination. You could kind of make it into your own story a little bit, if that makes sense.
Well, that is true. It's kind of the same for movies too, because the director also has an imagination. They can do anything how they perceive, along with setting, makeup, special effects, how actors portray certain characters, stuff like that.
That's true. And one of my points when I think about how I think the book is better personally, one of my points is books have a lot more detail than movies do. They have a wider range of possibility for detail, because movies you have an hour and a half to 2 hour time limit before it gets unbearably long. Books can be hundreds or even thousands of pages long. I'm sure 1,000 pages isn't that enticing, but but that's where sequels and additions to series come along. You can books will keep you invested for days or weeks at a time, depending how long it takes for you to read. And the books can use so much detail to tell a simple story, whereas a movie, it's so hard to take all of the detail from the book and incorporate it into a 2 hour movie. It's just not possible.
Well, again, what you brought up earlier, the potential for sequels.
Yeah.
And it can also create a lot of jobs too. You've got the actors, the producers, the directors, special effects, and the makeup artists, etc. For the book, there are a couple other roles, but they're not as big. There's obviously the author,
Yeah.
the illustrator, and the publisher.
Yeah,
but that's really as far as it goes.
Even if the book has pictures, an illustrator can't illustrate nothing.
Unless it's a comic book.
Yeah. But another point that I want to bring up is books will keep you occupied for longer. Like I said, they'll keep you occupied for days or weeks at a time. If you're bored at home doing nothing, you could pick up a book, you could be enthralled in it for hours, and you also wouldn't even notice. You just read 6 chapters, look up, 2 hours gone by, oh damn, that's crazy. A book, again, you would just sit for 2 hours and just stare at a screen, and you're okay, what do I do with myself now?
Well, yeah, that is true. But on the contrary, let's say you want something quick to do, while you're waiting for something, you can pull up a movie. Say you want to watch, I don't know, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. You can go ahead, grab your friends. It can be kind of a social setting.
That's also true. But that's where book clubs come in too. People have book clubs. They read the same book or swap off different books and then talk about them. That can also be a social event too.
I know, but you also want to watch it as it's happening,
That's true.
What are you going to do with your friend? Have them each hold one end of the book and be awkwardly staring at the pages?
Yeah, just be do it in class. Each person reads a paragraph. That is very true. What's another point you have?
I guess going back to your whole thing about length. Sometimes there isn't just movies. There's also TV series. There's also, just to bring one up, I guess The Last of Us. It's stretched out into many different episodes, so they don't have to incorporate it into a little 2 hour increment, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Each episode could be an hour long, and have there be 7 to 8 episodes per season.
Mm-hmm. That's also true.
You can wrap it up and then go to a different topic the next season.
That's true.
Stuff like that.
Something that I think about when I think about books versus movies, like books are screenless, like unless you have an ebook, but that's not what I'm talking about. If you have a paper copy of a book, like it's screenless. Like you're not like sitting staring at a screen for hours on end. Like it's less strain on your eyes because for me personally, if I'm sitting and looking at a screen for hours at a time, like I'll get a headache and it'll put strain on my eyes and I'm like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like the world's filled with so many screens these days, but like when you take the time to pick up a paper book and like just read without having like blue light being shot into your eyes, like it can be beneficial. Like it's less stimulation you got to worry about, and it's like a lot more relaxing too.
Fair point, fair point. The way I kind of combat that is sometimes when I'm watching like a super long movie, I'll just like pause it and take a break, maybe step outside for a little bit, just so I can kind of get some fresh air, sunlight, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes what people do is they'll take it too far and just binge like 5-6 movies, and then all of a sudden they're like,
yeah, just like
they're a zombie.
Like the day's over. Time to go to bed. Like, and like I bring up like stimulation because like a lot of movies will have like flashing lights or strobe lights, especially like action movies, and those could be like harmful to people with like epilepsy or light sensitivity issues. Like books don't have that. Like you could just like stare at a paper and then just like go with your imagination and stuff like that.
Fair enough, fair enough.
And then like I'm kind of gonna bring in a theory here, like you know the which comes first, the chicken or the egg type thing. Like usually like whether it's the book or the movie, like the book's the one that usually comes first. So like the movie's usually based off of the book, and like the book's kind of what sets the expectation for the movie. And then when the movie comes out, and again, like when you can't fit all of that detail into a 2.5 hour film, like it's gonna come out a lot different than the book, and people are gonna interpret it differently.
Yeah, good point there. But yeah, I will say some series that or movies that are based off of books. Not all of them are great, but there are some of them that have just gone on and produced many different movies, like Harry Potter. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, but I know that has found many success with the movies and such. Huge.
Like I would compare it like Twilight. Like I read the book, I liked it, it was good, and then I watched the movie and I'm like, this is low-key mid. Like I was really disappointed with that movie. I'm like, there's so much missing that was in the book, because like the book's like 700 pages long. Like how are you gonna put that into an hour and a half?
Right.
Like there was so much missing. Like it was kind of cringy at some points, and I was like, what is this? Like, and then I realized why there's so many memes about it, because it's so cringy. But anyway, that's not the point. Like it's just like,
it's a potential outlier.
Yeah, like I was low-key disappointed by the movie because like not all of the detail was there.
Yeah, I was forced to sit through that. It was not great, but again, what they should have done was just make it a TV series.
That's also true.
That way they can incorporate every detail that was possible.
Exactly. But yeah, I think this has been a good topic of discussion, and I think we can agree to disagree.
Absolutely.
On certain aspects. But that is all for now. My name is Michaela Krupski, signing off with Riley Gibbs. Say bye, Riley.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more.